Today is my wedding day. I am so happy I can barely breathe. I am wearing my beautiful white dress. I look at myself in the mirror. I look like a princess. Ryan will love this dress. He will love me in it. Ryan and I have been together for 2 years. We met at a coffee shop. He was reading a book. I was working on my laptop. He smiled at me and asked if I wanted to share his table. That was the beginning of our love story. Ryan proposed to me 6 months ago. He took me to the park where we had our first date. He got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. I said yes immediately. I have never been so happy. Now it is our wedding day. All our friends and family are here. The church looks beautiful. There are white flowers everywhere. The music is soft and romantic. Everything is perfect. I am waiting in the small room behind the church. My maid of honor is with me. She is fixing my dress and telling me how beautiful I look.
Are you ready?
She asks me. Yes, I say. I have been ready for this day my whole life. The music changes. It is time for me to walk down the aisle. I take a deep breath. In a few minutes, I will be Mrs. Ryan Collins. I walk to the back of the church. Everyone stands up and looks at me. They are all smiling. My father takes my arm. We start walking down the aisle together. I look toward the altar. I expect to see Ryan standing there in his black suit. I expect to see him smile when he sees me. But Ryan is not there. The priest is there. Ryan's best friend is there. But Ryan is not there. I stop walking. My father looks at me with worried eyes. "Where is Ryan?" I whisper. "I don't know," my father says. Everyone in the church is looking at us. They are confused too. They do not understand why the groom is not at the altar. Ryan's best friend walks over to us. His name is Jake.
"Emma, I am sorry,"
Jake says quietly.
"Ryan is not here. I do not know where he is. He was supposed to meet me at the church an hour ago. He never came."
I cannot breathe. This cannot be happening. Ryan would not leave me. Not on our wedding day. Did you call him? I ask.
"Yes, his phone goes straight to voicemail."
Did you go to his apartment?
"Yes, he is not there. His car is gone too."
I feel dizzy. My legs feel weak. My father holds my arm tighter. Maybe he is stuck in traffic, I say. Maybe his car broke down. But I know something is very wrong. Ryan would call me. He would find a way to let me know if he was in trouble. We wait for 2 hours. The guests sit in the church and whisper to each other. Some people leave, some people stay. Ryan never comes. Finally, the priest says we should cancel the wedding. There is nothing else we can do. I go back to the small room behind the church. I sit down in my wedding dress and cry. Jake comes to talk to me.
"Emma, I went to Ryan's apartment again."
Jake says,
"Ryan's clothes are gone. His suitcase is missing. But there is no note, no explanation, nothing."
I cannot believe what I am hearing. Ryan has disappeared on our wedding day without saying anything to anyone. There must be a reason. I say. Ryan loves me. He would not just leave me. But Ryan is gone, and no one knows where he is. That was 3 years ago. My wedding dress still hangs in my closet. I cannot throw it away. I cannot look at it either. I was sure Ryan was in danger. Maybe someone had hurt him. Maybe he was kidnapped. Maybe he was dead. I called the police many times. They said Ryan had left by choice. They would not help me. But I did not give up. I looked for Ryan everywhere. I hired a private detective. I posted his photo online. I never stopped searching. After the wedding that never happened, I moved away. I could not stay in our old town. Everything reminded me of Ryan. I moved to Millbrook, a small town 2 hours away. Ryan's parents lived here. I thought maybe Ryan would come home someday. I wanted to be close when he did. I opened a car repair shop. I had always been good with cars. My father taught me when I was young. The work kept me busy. It helped me not think about Ryan all the time. I lived alone in a small apartment above my shop. I never dated anyone else. How could I? Ryan was missing. Maybe he needed my help. Maybe he was trying to come home. I had to wait for him. People in town thought I was crazy. They said I should move on with my life. They said Ryan was not coming back, but I could not give up hope. I loved Ryan. I would always love him. 3 years passed like this. I worked on cars every day. I waited for Ryan every night. I never stopped believing he would come home. And one Tuesday morning, everything changed. A woman came to my shop with her car. She had a flat tire. She looked tired and stressed. She had long black hair and kind eyes.
"Can you help me?"
she asked.
"I am new in town. I do not know anyone here."
Of course, I said. I can fix your tire. The woman smiled.
"Thank you so much. This is my son, Danny."
I looked down and saw a little boy. He was about 3 years old. He had dark hair and big brown eyes. He was very cute. But something about the boy made me stop breathing. He looked familiar, very familiar. The boy smiled at me. His smile was exactly like Ryan's smile. His eyes were exactly like Ryan's eyes when he was young. Ryan had shown me photos of himself as a child. This boy looked just like those photos. My hands started shaking. This could not be possible. How old is he? I asked the woman, trying to keep my voice steady.
"He was born on May 15th, 2021,
she said, checking her phone.
"So, he's 3 now."
My heart stopped. May 15th, 2021. That was my wedding day. The day Ryan disappeared. I felt the world spinning around me. This little boy was born on the exact day Ryan left me at the altar. The pieces fell together like a nightmare. Ryan hadn't disappeared. He hadn't been in danger. He had been with this woman, having a baby. While I stood in my wedding dress waiting for him, he was with her. All those years I thought he loved me. All those years I searched for him, worried about him, waited for him. He had been living his life with another woman and their child. He had been playing with my feelings, making me believe we had something real when he was already committed to someone else. I felt sick. I felt angry. I felt like the biggest fool in the world. The woman did not notice my shock. She was looking at her phone.
I need to find a place to live,
She said.
We just moved here from the city. Do you know any good neighborhoods?
I could barely speak. I will fix your tire, I said quietly. I worked on the car with shaking hands. My mind was racing. Ryan had a son. Ryan was alive. He was not missing. He was not hurt. He had left me to be with this woman and their child on what was supposed to be our wedding day. Ryan had lied to me. He had played with my heart. He had made me believe in a love that was never real. The woman paid me for the tire. She took Danny and left. I watched them drive away. The little boy waved at me from the car window. But I couldn't let them just disappear. I needed to know the truth. I needed to see Ryan face to face. I quickly closed my shop and followed them in my car, staying far enough behind so they wouldn't notice me. I watched as they pulled into the driveway of a house on Oak Street, Ryan's parents' house, the house where Ryan grew up. My heart was beating very fast. Ryan was here. After 3 years of searching, I had found him. He had been here while I looked for him everywhere, while I thought he was dead. I parked across the street and watched as the woman and Danny went inside. I could see lights in the windows. I could hear voices and laughter. I sat in my car for several minutes, gathering my courage. Then I walked to the front door and knocked 3 times. I heard footsteps inside. The door opened. Ryan stood there. He was older, more tired looking, but it was definitely him. When he saw me, his face went completely pale. His eyes filled with tears that he tried desperately to hold back. For a moment, neither of us said anything.
I'm so sorry,
He said quietly, his voice breaking.
I was so scared to confront you.
I stared at him, seeing the man I had loved for 2 years, the man I had searched for 3 more years, the man I thought I would marry. The boy, I said, Danny. He was born on our wedding day. Ryan's tears finally fell. He nodded.
Lisa is my ex-girlfriend from before I met you. I had no idea she was pregnant. That morning, our wedding morning, she called me in a panic. She said she was giving birth, and she needed me there. She needed the father, and she needed money for the hospital bills.
So you left me at the altar to be with her,
It was an emergency.
he said desperately.
I didn't think. I just rushed to the hospital. In that moment, all I could think about was that I had a child being born, and this woman needed help.
You forgot about me. You forgot about our wedding,
I know how terrible that sounds.
Ryan said, his voice breaking.
But yes, in the panic and shock of finding out I was becoming a father, I forgot everything else. It wasn't until hours later, when Danny was born and everything calmed down, that I remembered. I remembered you in your wedding dress, waiting for me. I remembered all our guests, the church, everything.
And then you decided to just disappear,
I was terrified.
he said.
I had ghosted you on the most important day of your life. I had a son I didn't even know existed a few hours before. How could I call you and explain all of that? How could I tell you that I forgot our wedding because I was having a baby with my ex?
Ryan stepped closer, his eyes pleading.
Emma, there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't think about you, not one day. I still love you so much, but I was too scared to face what I had done. I was a coward.
Are you with her? I asked.
With Lisa? No,
He said quickly.
we're not together. We never got back together. She's just the mother of my son. We're raising Danny together because he needs both of us.
I looked at this man who had broken my heart, who had made me waste 3 years of my life searching for someone who was hiding from me. I thought you cheated on me, I said. I thought everything we had was fake,
It wasn't fake.
Ryan said, reaching toward me, but stopping when I stepped back.
What we had was real. What I felt for you was real. I made terrible choices. I was scared and I handled everything wrong.
You want another chance, I said. It wasn't a question.
More than anything in the world.
He whispered.
I know I don't deserve it. I know I hurt you in the worst possible way. But if there's any part of you that could forgive me.
I looked at him, standing there, broken and sorry and hoping. I could see the man I had fallen in love with, but I could also see the man who had abandoned me on our wedding day. I need time to think, I said.
How much time?
Ryan asked. I don't know. I turned and walked back to my car. Ryan stood in the doorway watching me.
Emma,
He called. I stopped and looked back at him.
I love you.
He said.
I never stopped loving you.
I got in my car and drove away. In my mirror, I could see Ryan still standing in the doorway. I drove home to my small apartment. I sat on my couch and thought about everything. Ryan was alive. He had a son. He was sorry. He wanted another chance. He hadn't cheated on me, but he had made a choice that destroyed our wedding day and the 3 years that followed. But was sorry enough? Could I trust him again? Could I love a man who had hurt me so deeply? Could I be part of Danny's life? Could I share Ryan with Lisa and their son? I looked at my wedding dress hanging in the closet. After 3 years, maybe it was time to decide what to do with it. What do you think Emma should do? Should she give Ryan a second chance? Or is it too late to fix a broken heart? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Lesson of the day: breath versus breathe. Breath is a noun, it is pronounced breath. Breathe is a verb, it is pronounced breathe. Examples from the story: today is my wedding day. I am so happy I can barely breathe. I cannot breathe. This cannot be happening. But something about the boy made me stop breathing. I take a deep breath.